So today we are going to be talking about protist. So firstly, what is protist? Protist is a eukaryotic cell that is not bacteria, fungi, or animal. It's also mostly unicellular, meaning it's made out of only one cell, while there are some that are multicellular, meaning it's made out of multiple cells. But protists are mostly unicellular though. And the way they reproduce asexually through binary fission, which is very similar to mitosis. And sexually, they reproduce through conjugation, and that only occurs during stressful situations. So, their sexual reproduction is conjugation, and asexual reproduction is binary fission. And now there's three types of protists. First one is plant-like protist. So it's basically like algae and stuff like that. Now, plant-like protists are autotrophic, meaning they make their own food, and they make their own food through photosynthesis. Now, they are similar to plants because there's some that are multicellular, because plants are multicellular, and there's some that are multicellular. They have a cell wall, and that cell wall is made out of cellulose, and they also have chloroplasts. And if you don't know, chloroplast is what makes photosynthesis happen. So yeah. But they're not classified as plants because plant-like protists move around to get photosynthesis while plants don't. And then plant-like protists are mostly unicellular while plants are mostly multicellular. And then also plant-like protists lack or have different tissues than plants. And an example of a plant-like protist is also fungi. So yeah. And then its benefits. So it's algae, because it produces food and oxygen for many animals. And there's also some that are zoocaneth, meaning they're symbiosis, so they have a relationship with the host and benefit each other. And they're harmful because they can produce toxins and create dead zones by using up oxygen and also kill animals, which is very ironic because that's the exact opposite of the benefits for animals. So yeah, to summarize it up, plant-like protists, they're autotrophic, meaning they make their own food through photosynthesis. They're similar to plants because they have chloroplasts, cell made of cellulose, and there's some that are multicellular, but they are not classified as plants because plant-like protists move around for photosynthesis while plants don't. Plant-like protists lack or have a different tissue than plants, and then there's also plant-like protists are mostly unicellular while plants are mostly multicellular. And they're beneficial because they're zoocaneth, meaning they have a symbiosis relationship. And it also creates oxygen and food for many animals. But they're harmful because they produce toxins and can kill animals, and also create dead zones by using up oxygen. Now I have the animal-like protists. So animal-like protists are heterotrophic, meaning they cannot make their own food, and thus must consume other organisms or other stuff to get energy, which is like us. We cannot make our own food, so that's why we have to eat other stuff in order to get energy. And then they're similar to animals because they have no cell wall and also, heterotrophic, but they're not classified as animals because animal-like protists are mostly unicellular, while animals are only multicellular, and also animal-like protists don't have tissues, while animals do have tissues. And then its benefits the animals is they are a key role. Benefits of animal-like protists, they are a key role in food chain for marine life, and then they're harmful because there's a group called sporozoan, and it lives in a parasitic protist, meaning it lives in a host, like a cell, and then they harm that cell but benefit themselves. And then also they have triochis, which is used for defense and catch prey. So basically, they are beneficial because they are a key role in marine food chain and food life, but they're harmful because there's a group called sporozoan, and that lives in a parasitic host, meaning they harm the host, but they benefit themselves. And and they also have triages, which is used for defense and catching prey. And finally, fungi like protists. So, um, they're also heterotrophic. So, the only thing that's not heterotrophic are plant-like protists. Everything else are heterotrophic. And they also decompose, meaning they break down dead organisms and absorb them. Oh, um, wait, okay. Sorry, one sec.